18 years ago, my favorite TV show ever went off the air seemingly for good, only 3 years after a fan support campaign the likes of which simply didn't exist in the era where internet ubiquity was still nascent. And at the time I was 19 and at the point in my life where bigger things in life and, well, life were weighing on me to the point that I don't remember making that big a deal out of it. Even though we'd been through cancellation once before, it was time, it had a good run, etc. Plus, it had an immensely satisfying conclusion considering that this was a series that explicitly told us we weren't really supposed to care about how things worked or worked out for the main characters. But the absence of Mystery Science Theater 3000 sense was felt in the culture almost immediately the moment it went away. For over a decade, this series had refined and then defined an entire subgenre of comedy that taught a generation that you could not only turn bad art into good fun for your own entertainment, but that said good fun could also be a creative act in its own right. And there have been countless imitators of the so-called riffing format, especially here on YouTube, and no less than 4 unofficial spin-offs by various permutations of the original cast. None of it's ever been exactly the same, and none of it's ever really filled the MST3K-shaped hole in the comedy world. But now it's back, and yeah, sorry, we gotta go live action for this.
I'm so happy. Yeah, I mean, look, I know the world, like, sucks right now. I know, like, everything is bad, but I am so just thrilled to have this show back, and it's so much fun, and the episodes are so good, and it's just holy shit. I am just so fucking glad to be able to watch this. I imagine at some point this whole thing where every show that ever had a really strong fan base can get kickstarted back to life and have a new season will, like, run its course, and, you know, like, a couple of these will really suck or the fan bases will turn on them, but, like, this really feels like a real miracle. Like, it's the Mystery Science Theater you remember, but it's a whole new and different feel to it, while also remaining the same. The new cast I'll get into greater detail back in the regular episode, but now I just needed to say on camera, holy fucking shit, Mystery Science Theater lives. I am so fucking psyched.
Now, granted, I'm only about 3 episodes into the new season because I take my commitment to putting out new content for you folks seriously, and that takes up a lot of my time. But this has always been a series where any one good episode can tell you all you need to know about whether the concept is working out for you, and yeah, I gotta say the concept is working again. The core riffing work for the movies themselves is absolutely rock solid. That's the most important thing by far, and they are just crushing it. The decision to bring in guest writers seems like a good bet to keep things fresh and avoid repetition, especially on a clearly accelerated production schedule, but there's a rhythm and flow to things that indicate a really solid baseline crew that knows what they're doing. If I had to make a criticism, it might be that the pace of the jokes actually comes a little too fast at times. In the original run, the pacing felt more true to the experience of casually watching a bad movie for fun and firing off a riff or a joke here and there, and there was always plenty of moments where they just hang back and let the absurdity of the film speak for themselves. Now it's pretty much constant non-stop commentary, and hey, the originals were almost 2 decades ago, so maybe this is a concession to the reality of the sped-up lives and attention spans of the millennial generation. I also kind of find myself wishing that Jonah and the new Tom and Crow were more pronouncedly different from one another in terms of voice cadence and sense of humor, but that could just be my attachment to the original voices, and I imagine it'll take some getting used to and some adjustment. Either way, very minor stuff, and it still feels 100% like Mystery Science Theater 3000. I mean, now you're Mr. Dresser? That's an instant classic riff, and the first thing I literally burst out laughing at as soon as I got done sobbing at actually seeing the series come back in the first place. The new cast is absolutely working for me. I'll be honest, I was a little worried about Felicia Day and Patton Oswalt. Not because they're not both great comics, they both absolutely are. It's more that the original appeal of the series to me, part of it, was that this was this weird handmade thing mostly starring a bunch of unknown Midwestern comedians you'd never heard of. So jumping from that directly to basically the encyclopedia illustration of nerd comedy celebrity is a pretty big damn shift. But they're both excellent, they fit in, and they're a real highlight of the new status quo. I mean, you kind of had to know that Patton Oswalt as the successor to TV's Frank was going to be something like a secret weapon. That's just a perfect match of performer to project. But Felicia Day is almost shockingly good as Kinga Forrester. She's doing something really different and subtle and interesting with what could have been a standard evil lady scientist role, and I'm digging it. I love the skeleton crew, not just because I also love Inframan, and I hope to see more of Cynthia as I eventually make my way through the rest of the episodes. Baron Vaughn and Hampton Young are both providing solid inheritors to Tom and Crow. For the record, yeah, I'm that guy that really does want to know if these are supposed to be the original models, and if so, why they're back on the presumably new satellite of love instead of living in Mike's apartment, and for that matter, what happened to Con Gypsko. Really dig Gypsy's new voice, by the way, good decision, but I know it's not really the point of the series to explain that stuff, so whatever, fine, keep keeps in spirit of things. I do hope the trio emerge more as distinct personalities going forward, because right now it just kind of sounds like three similarly aged, snarky dudes with big pop culture vocabularies, but the writing works and the performances themselves are rock solid. And the movie selection is fantastic. I'm really glad that these all feel like the kind of stuff MST3K was always working from, rather than trying to show off or do more recent fare, or swiping at low-hanging, done-to-death fruit like The Room or Troll 2 or the Sharknado movies. Cry Wilderness is an amazing discovery I can't believe I've never seen, and it's taking all my restraint not to jump ahead and watch old favorites of my own like At the Earth's Core and Wizards of the Demon Sword out of order.
I'm still so fucking happy.
Hey gang, here's a question that keeps coming up. If your handle is MovieBob, where are your movie reviews? Well, my old reviews are in a lot of places. You'll find many of them on my YouTube channel, but you'll find the brand new ones on Geek.com, an awesome site that's also your one-stop news source for science, TV, gaming, technology, nerd culture, the works. You can find all my reviews directly by going to geek.com/author/bchipman, because that's my real name, and you can get regular updates on all my reviews and all of Geek.com's other great content by signing up for their kick-ass newsletter at subscribe.geek.com. And don't forget to also subscribe to the Geek.com YouTube channel, where you'll find the videos that accompany my reviews and tons of other great content too. Remember, that's Geek.com, the Geek.com newsletter, and Geek.com on YouTube. Make sure you don't miss out on all the latest MovieBob reviews. You can also check out my own new website, MovieBob Central, where you'll find my blog, links to all my work, and shop for my books, ebooks, and future MovieBob products. And please remember to like these videos, share them with all of your friends, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching another MovieBob production.